Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Political Ray on this beautiful Friday morning. It's a little wet here, but that's okay. I like the rain. But anyway, we've got a bunch of stuff that happened yesterday. We're going to try and get through all of this um, before I run out of time and have to go to work. But before I do that, let me just let you know again that this is a live show Monday through Friday, 7:30 Eastern Time. Just ahead of the Rumble lineup. Appreciate everybody being here. Glad that you could make it. I know it's early, but hey, as you're getting ready for work, you can check me out. But anyway, we've got a new pope that everybody's talking about. It's the first American pope in the history of the Vatican. Kind of cool. There's takes from both sides on this. Apparently, the guy was not a fan of Trump, but we'll get into it a little bit. We've got a deal that was struck with President Trump and the UK, benefiting the U.S., helping out the UK. I think it's fine. Just my opinion on it. I think it's fine. But anyway, we'll get into that a little bit too. Audi, as another result of the Trump tariffs, Audi has said that they will be putting up a manufacturing plant within the United States. Good. It's more American jobs, more manufacturing coming back to the United States. Hopefully making, Audi's a luxury deal, like a dealer luxury vehicle, as it were. I think it's pretty cool. I like Audis. I don't mind them. I don't have one. I think they're nice though. But anyway, Pam Bondi, she's making news again. Not for the reasons you may think though. I'll give you my spin on that and what I think. Biden made an appearance on The View and spouts all kinds of nonsense about maybe he probably would have won the election versus Trump. I don't think so. He dropped out for a reason. Everybody knows it, but we'll get into that as well. And let's see what else we got here. I think that's what we're going to cover today. So anyway, we'll jump right into this with the Pope. So everybody knows the Pope had passed away. We got a new one. Now everybody's saying that this was fairly quick. So I guess I don't know. I don't know how this. I don't really pay attention to the Vatican, how the how quick the new Pope gets selected or selected, what have you. I'm not Catholic. I'm Christian, but I'm not Catholic. But this is from the Vatican News here. Saying, I announce to you a great joy. We have a Pope, the most eminent and most revered Lord Robert Francis, Cardinal of the Holy Roman Church, Prevost, who has taken the name Leo XIV. Cardinal Predu-Deacon Dominic Mamberti announces that the Cardinals have selected Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost, who took the name Pope Leo XIV. Now, I guess pretty cool. I mean, it's cool that it's the first American Pope that has ever been selected. That's cool, I guess. I mean, but like I said, there's a lot of takes from both sides about this guy. I don't know. I think this is one of those things that we're just going to have to wait and see as far as like what kind of things he enacts, what he decides. I guess it's just one of those waiting games. But anyway. So this is the guy when he come out and, but we'll take a look at this. This is the, he's coming out. He's been selected. Apparently this was really fast. I don't know, but apparently it was quick. Faster than normal. But that just tells me maybe they already had selected this guy. They knew he was going to be the next guy, so...
Annuncio vobis gaudium magnum.
Okay, nobody's going to, unless you actually speak that language, nobody's going to understand this, so we're not going to watch it. But that's the guy. Like I said, kind of cool, I guess, but we will take a look at this. Now, like I said, a lot of people on X are, there's takes on both sides. The left saying that, the right's going to lose their crap because this guy's, pro LGBT, whatever, and he's anti-Trump. But a lot of the right wings are saying, the opposite. So I don't know. I would just say that this is probably one of those things that we're just going to have to wait and see. But we'll go through a little bit here on X and just see. You got the first American Pope, the eagle meme running with the machine guns. Vatican City after electing an American Pope. That's funny. I mean, with the Buc-ee's, Costco. I mean, I guess if you're from the South. But anyway. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see if we can find a good one here. No. Charlie Kirk, his take on it. Let's see. The promotion of gender ideology is confusing because it seeks to create genders that don't exist. Pope Leo the 14th. See, that's something I agree with. The left is going to lose their minds if they see that. So I mean, if that's a quote from him, which it looks like it is, I'm just saying the left is not going to like that. When you realize the Pope can run for president in 28, that would be wild. Don't see that happening, but all kinds of stuff that you can find on X. But anyway, we'll just leave that one there, and we'll go ahead and move on to the deal struck by President Trump with the UK. This is a trade deal. I think it's good, just my opinion. But you guys can let me know what you think about this. I think this is fantastic. This is just one of those things that, in my opinion, you got the UK and like Canada coming out. When Mark Carney talked all kinds of stuff about fighting back against Trump and his tariffs and what have you. And then when Mark Carney came to the White House just a couple of days ago, it was a completely different tune. The guy was respectful. He, talked to Trump respectfully. It sounds like they're going to be friends, but you never know. He might go back to Canada and just, sounds like he's one of them guys that talks tough. And then once he actually gets in front of Trump in the Oval Office, he changes his tune. A lot like keyboard warriors, if you ask me. But anyway, the UK deal, I think it's a good thing. And we'll take a look at what President Trump says. Now, this just says, exports $5 billion, external revenue is going to go up $6 billion. Now, he put the base tariff upon the UK at 10%. And there's going to be apparently there's free trade as far as like automobiles, but we'll take a look at what President Trump said. Here we go.
It includes billions of dollars of increased market access for American exports, especially in agriculture, dramatically increasing access for American beef, ethanol, and virtually all of the products produced by our great farmers. And our Secretary, as you know, of Agriculture is here. Brooke, thank you very much for being here.
Day. Thank you, sir.
You'll let the farmers know. In addition, the UK will reduce or eliminate numerous non-tariff barriers that unfairly discriminated against American products. But this is now turning out, I think, really to be a great deal for both countries, because it'll be really great for the UK also. So they're opening up the country. Their country is a little closed, and we appreciate that. They'll also be fast-tracking American goods through their customs process, so our exports go to a very, very quick form of approval, and there won't be any red tape. Things are going to move very quickly both ways. The final details are being written up in the coming weeks. We'll have it all very conclusive, but the actual deal is a very conclusive one. We think just about everything's been approved.
So we got unprecedented access to UK markets: ethanol, beef, cereals, fruits, vegetables, animal feed, tobacco, soft drinks, shellfish, textiles, chemicals, machinery, and more. I think it's a good deal. So we've got pretty much what this thing boils down to is the fact that let me get back to this here. Let's see. So the deal apparently as far as I understand it, it aligns with the American First agenda. But its scope, let's see, this says its scope is modest compared to the U.S. larger trade challenges. Let's see, we maintained a 10% tariff and unresolved issues. Let's see, where's it? Okay, here we go. This is what I wanted to go back to this. Okay, the U.S.-UK trade totaled $148 billion in 2024, only 3% of the U.S. global trade, and the U.S. already runs $11.9 billion trade surplus with the UK. This makes the deal's economic significance relatively small compared to the trade with larger partners like China or the EU. Now, that's true. We get most of the imports that we take are from China, which in my opinion needs to change. That's my opinion, but You can let me know what you think. Let's see. We got where was the? I'm talking about the. Where's the part that I wanted to read? Okay. Okay, there it is. The deal is estimated to create $5 billion in new export opportunities for the U.S. farmers, ranchers, and producers, particularly in sectors like ethanol, fruits, vegetables, animal feed, tobaccos, shellfish, chemicals, and textiles. Just what I read there on the screen there. But I think that's a good thing. It's American beef, just as an example, is second to none, in my opinion. We have a lot of it. Why not? I mean, I it's my opinion, but I think, and you can look it up for yourself as well. But beef in the United States is a major thing, and I don't understand why we're importing beef from other countries. It's a mystery to me, especially when we've got such a huge market for it here in the United States. It boggles my mind that we're getting it from overseas, but that's just me. But anyway, let's continue with what President Trump is saying here.
So good for both countries, and we'll also receive new market access for American chemicals, machinery, and many other industrial products that weren't allowed, and they'll end up getting products that they'll be able to price, and if they like them better and we make great products, they'll be buying those products, but they were not available in the UK. Furthermore, in a historic step, the deal includes plans that will bring the United Kingdom into the economic security alignment with the United States. That's the first of its kind. So we have a big economic security blanket, and that's very important, and we feel very comfortable with that because it's been a great ally, truly one of our great allies.
So let me ask you this question. So as far as like world peace, which everybody is from the way I understand it, everybody wants world peace, right? So if you've got fair trade with a bunch of countries around the world, that would incentivize peace, would it not? You're getting products from other countries, plus those countries are getting products from your states, your countries. So it would incentivize peace, would it not? Just a question, just something that randomly pops into my head. I think that this would be a good thing for the world as far as, trade. I'm not against trade. I think that free trade is I have different mixed opinions about it, but I think it's good for the world as a whole so that we don't have any wars. I mean, if you got free trade and if you want to keep up good relations and you like those products coming into your country, you're not going to start crazy wars. But that's just what I think. What do you think? You let me know.
A lot of people say our greatest ally. I don't want to insult people by saying that, but I can say it's certainly one of our greatest.
Anyway, I think it's a good thing. I'm happy about it. Again, I'll just stress the fact that, places like Canada and the UK, they will talk tough against President Trump, but in the long run, when they actually come to face with President Trump, their tune does tend to change, but that's okay. I mean, that's fine with me, as long as we're getting things done. But anyway, from the BBC. Now, this is just, like I said, from the BBC. They're saying it's good. So anyway, U.S. and U.K. agree deal slashing Trump tariffs on cars and metals. The U.S. agreed to reduce import taxes on a set number of British cars and allow some steel and aluminum into the country tariff-free. This is good. I think so. As part of a new agreement between the U.S. and the U.K., the announcement offers relief for key U.K. industries from some of the new tariffs President Donald Trump has announced since his return to the White House in January. But it will leave a 10% duty in place on most goods from the UK. Though hailed by the leaders of the two countries as significant, analysts said it did not appear to meaningfully alter the terms of trade between the countries as they stood before the changes introduced by Trump this year. No formal deal was signed on Thursday, and the announcements from both governments were light on details. Speaking from a Jaguar Land Rover factory in the West Midlands, Sir Keir Starmer described the agreement as a fantastic platform. This historic deal delivers a British business and British workers, protecting thousands of British jobs in key sectors, including car manufacturing and steel. He added that the UK has no greater ally than the United States. They don't. I think any country in the world wouldn't have a greater ally than the United States, but that's just my biased opinion. Let's see. This is maxed out deal that we're going to make bigger, he says. Let's see what else we got. The two sides said the U.S. had agreed to reduce the import tax on cars, which Trump raised by 25% last month, to 10% for 100,000 cars a year. That will help luxury car makers such as Jaguar, Land Rover, and Rolls-Royce, but could limit growth in the years ahead, as it amounts to roughly what the UK exported last year. Business Secretary Jonathan Reynolds told the BBC the UK was days away from losing thousands of jobs at car makers. Oh my gosh, I got to learn to speak. Facing U.S. tariffs. This was very serious, he says. It would have meant people would have lost their jobs without this breakthrough. Tariffs on steel and aluminum, which Trump raised earlier this year to 25%, have also been slashed, according to the Prime Minister's office. The U.S. said instead it would establish a quota as had existed previously. The two countries also agreed to follow the import of up to 13,000 metric tons of beef from the other country without tariffs, according to documents released by the U.S. Trade Representative. That's good. I'm fine with it. U.S. I don't know why we are importing beef from other countries. Again, I'll say we have plenty of it here. I don't know why we're bringing in foreign beef, foreign food. Support American farmers. That's anyway. So we've got that. Plus, we've got now Audi. Speaking of vehicles, Audi has decided that they will be placing a manufacturing plant here within the United States. So this is from the Post Millennial, and we'll take a look at this. World's second largest car maker to move manufacturing of luxury brand to the U.S. This is good. Another result of the tariffs. This is what they're supposed to be doing, bringing back American manufacturing jobs to the United States. This is a good thing. The second largest car maker in the world will be relocating the manufacturing of its luxury brand to the United States after President Donald Trump has encouraged car companies to do business in the U.S. Volkswagen Group, which is the second largest car manufacturing in the world, will be joining a number of other car manufacturing in moving production to the United States for the German automaker's luxury brand Audi, per the Daily Mail. This is a good thing. Like I said, you've got Hyundai. I forget where they were going, what the investment was. They're going to be making vehicles here in the United States. You've got Honda, who is going to be specifically making their Honda Civic in Indiana now. You've also got, what was the other one? I forget. There was another one that's bringing their manufacturing. Oh, yeah, the Nissan. It was the RAV4. Is it Nissan? Is that the RAV4? Toyota. That's it. The Toyota RAV4 is going to be specifically made within the United States now as well. This is all because of the tariffs that he's putting on. This was the whole goal of this, and I'm glad to see it happening. But anyway, a spokesperson for the company told the outlet, "We want to localize more strongly in the USA. To this end, we are currently examining various scenarios. We are confident that we will make a decision on this in consultation with the Volkswagen Group before the end of this year as to what this will look like in concrete terms." During a recent earnings call for Audi, CFO of the brand, Jurgen, I think that's how you pronounce that, but I'm not sure, said that the car company is planning on creating 10 new models in the United States, and locations for production will be made public next year. This is good. This is fantastic. It's more jobs in America. I know that there's that meme flying around on X and the internet of the overweight, obese American people in factories making products, goods, what have you. It's not a bad thing to have a job. It doesn't matter what the job is. If having a manufacturing job is not like a downgrade. It's not. I don't understand why people would look down on anybody. They're working. They're providing for their family. It's not a bad thing. It's American jobs coming back to the United States. It's a good thing. But anyway, I digress, and I'm going to ramble about that if I don't stop. So, one location that is primarily being considered is Chattanooga, Tennessee. Parent company Volkswagen already builds its Atlas as well as the Atlas Sport at the Chattanooga location. Another site under consideration is in South Carolina, according to the report. A third location has not been disclosed. I mean, Chattanooga's, I guess, is a good spot. I don't know. I've been up there a couple times. I don't care wherever they put it. It's American jobs. So the move appears to come as a response to Trump's tariff policy, which he has used to leverage investments in the United States. Other car companies that have made moves to produce in the U.S. include Stellantis, as well as Hyundai and Honda and Toyota. But other companies, as well as countries, have similarly invested in the United States as Trump has taken the White House. Trump also announced Thursday that the U.S. and the U.K. brokered a trade deal. So we just went over that one. So this is fantastic. Another win for the Trump administration. He's not doing everything that I like. There's a lot of stuff that some of his picks, in particularly, that I don't care for. We're actually going to get into that next. But I think this is fantastic. It's another win. I'm happy about this. It's a good thing. American manufacturing jobs back into the United States. I'm good. I'm good with it. Excited. But anyway, Pam Bondi. We'll move on to her. Now everybody knows how I feel about this woman. I think she spends too much time on Fox News. She doesn't spend enough time actually doing her job. Now the Epstein thing is come up yet again only after James O'Keefe and his team, they were about to release a video of her. It was an undercover reporter that he had that was just talking to her randomly at a restaurant or a cafe. I'm not sure what it was, but that's besides the point. She's just told a random stranger that, there's thousands of videos with underage children with Epstein. And then she came out. I think this is my opinion on this. I think she wanted to jump ahead of this. She didn't want this to go out without her saying something first because it would paint her in a bad light. That's what I think. Excuse me. Dang. That's what I think. And I don't care for the woman anyway. I didn't really know much about her before she was appointed. I said it when she was appointed that I hope she does well. She hasn't done well. I'm not a fan of her. I think it's a terrible pick. Just because she hasn't done jack other than go on Fox News and tout what she's supposedly going to do instead of actually taking action. But take a look at this clip. This is from James O'Keefe with the little sit down that she had with just a random person, but she managed to tell them, but she couldn't tell the American people. Again, I will say, my opinion is she wanted to get ahead of this. She wanted to put it out there before he did. And you will see why I think that. Take a look at this video.
Yesterday, Attorney General of the United States Pam Bondi was at the White House and disclosed what she represented as brand new information in relation to Jeffrey Epstein. The existence of tens of thousands of videos featuring little children.
There are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn.
Now, this is the first time an official has publicly acknowledged.
He's right. This is the first time that they have officially come out and said this. I will say this. I could be wrong, but it's my personal opinion that if stuff like this existed and you got, high-ranking people maybe in these videos, I don't think that those exist anymore. Just my personal opinion. I could be wrong. But again, I will say I don't want to see that crap anyway. I don't. You can talk about it if you want, but as far as I don't want that released to the public. Nobody wants to see that unless you're just a sick individual. But we'll keep going with this.
Knowledge that videos of Epstein and his victims exist. What you may not know is just 9 days prior, the Attorney General had a very similar conversation with a total stranger in a restaurant.
Do you know when the Epstein files are going to get released?
We hope soon. The FBI's been.
Okay.
So.
Any dates?
No, you know what it is? There are tons of thousands of videos.
Yeah.
And it's all with little kids. So they have to go through every one.
In the past, officials have spoken about the, quote, mountain of evidence. And
keep in mind the date on that video. The date on that video was the 28th of April, not that long ago. like he said 9 days ago before she came out with her statement, she wanted to get ahead of this. She did not want James O'Keefe putting this out before she had actually made an official statement over it.
In the Epstein case. But they've never, previous to that moment, acknowledged on the existence of videos of, quote, little kids. Just a few days later, at 2 p.m. on May 1st, our reporter sent the AG's office the text of the recording. We asked why this detail had not been disclosed to the public, but was instead being told to a random stranger at a restaurant. The Attorney General used almost the exact same language as she did with the stranger in the restaurant, language that we shared with her press office.
All right, so now everybody remembers when those influencers got the Epstein binders, okay? And all those binders said phase 1. How long ago was that now? I'm just saying, do I expect anything to be released as far as Epstein? No, I don't. I don't expect to see any of it. Should it be released? Sure. Do I expect it? No. I don't see it happening. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But it's been how long? Epstein is dead. I mean, everybody got their own opinion. That the official statement is that he offed himself in his cell. Too many things happened during that little time frame. I don't buy it. That's just me. But I don't expect anything from the Epstein. I don't expect anything to come out from this. I don't. I was hopeful at the beginning when she said on Fox News that she would be releasing it the next day. And then we got the phase 1 binders that really didn't have anything in them that wasn't already publicly available. So I don't expect anything from it. I don't. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't expect it.
There are tens and thousands videos. Yeah, and it's all with little kids.
There are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn.
Now, we hesitated to publish this story, but believe, like we did yesterday, that the public has a right to know. And this one raises serious questions. On one hand, why did our country's highest law enforcement official share this information first not with the American people, but with a self-described nanny at brunch? But more importantly,
it's a good
why
question.
was this information held back in the first place? Does this show that a government apparatus is still working behind the scenes to protect powerful people involved in the scandal? Based upon the response to our Epstein story yesterday, it's clear that the American people want answers, and they want accountability.
He's not wrong. Again, I will say I don't expect anything out of the Epstein files. I think it's been too long. I don't think, this is just my opinion. I don't know for sure, but I would speculate and tend to believe that there is no more. A lot of that stuff has probably gotten destroyed. It's gone. And why, if that's the case, I don't understand why they would keep touting this kind of stuff unless you're actually going to release it. I mean, at this point, you think about it this way. The FBI, what have you, they've been going through this stuff for what? A good month, at least a month and a half to 2 months. Why not release what you've gone through if that's the case? You said phase 1 the first time those first binders come out, so why not release phase 2 and then have just what you've gone through and what you actually want to release? I don't think you're going to see anything. Again, I could be wrong, but I don't think it's going to happen. It's just I don't think it's going to happen. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and move on to President Trump has picked Judge Jeanine Pirro as the next, she's going to be the interim Attorney General for Washington, D.C., District of Columbia. So he put out on his Truth Social, I am pleased to announce that Judge Jeanine Pirro will be appointed interim United States Attorney for the District of Columbia. Jeanine was Assistant Director Attorney for Westchester County, New York, and then went on to serve as County Judge and District Attorney, where she was the first woman ever to be elected to those positions. During her time in office, Jeanine was a powerful crusader for victims of crime. Her establishments of the Domestic Violence Bureau and her prosecutor's office was the first in the nation. She excelled in all ways in addition to her legal career. Jeanine previously hosted her own Fox News show, Justice with Judge Jeanine, for 10 years and is currently co-host of The Five, one of the highly rated shows on television. Jeanine is incredibly well qualified for this position and is considered one of the top district attorneys in the history of the state of New York. She is in a class by herself. Congratulations, Jeanine. I'm good with this. I like Judge Jeanine. I do. She's got that personality that she's not going to take no crap from nobody, and she's not. This is just, maybe it'll change, because I kind of thought that about Cash. He's kind of let me down a little bit. Now, I saw a video yesterday. I defended Cash because he was in that committee. Y'all saw that. And I defended the guy. But then I saw a clip later on that day yesterday about him saying, that in a statement about Epstein, that he hung himself in jail. That kind of throws his credibility for me out the window. And this was right after I defended the guy on my show yesterday. But I digress. Hopefully, once she's actually in that position, she doesn't get influenced by other people from the left, what have you, or people in the establishment. I hope that she stays true to who she is, because I like who she is. She's a no-nonsense type of person, like Tom Homan. Tom Homan is one person that I can say has not disappointed in his role within this administration. He has stayed true to who he is, does not care about what people say about him. He says, look, we're going to do this job, and we're going to do it good. We're going to do it right. I don't care what people say about it. So that's what I want to see. And that's what I'm good with. So this is the kind of, I just want to show this little clip about her going off on a leftist person that just, look, like I said, she's a no-nonsense person. It's what I like to see. I want these types of people in positions of power because I don't want them to take the crap from the left or the mainstream media. When they're lying, they can call out their BS and what have you. But this is just a little clip of how she is and what I expect from her going forward. So we'll take a look at this.
Speak to us anymore. The Democrats are the party of hate. The Democrats are the party that said he's a Putin asset, he's a Russian puppet. The Democrats are the ones who signed affidavits and lied to a court so that they could spy on a president of the United States. The Democrats are the ones who said that we're destroying democracy. Let me tell you something about Donald Trump. Let me tell you something about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is one of the most generous people you'll ever meet. He does all kinds of things that people have no idea about. And by the way, if he were selfish, he'd take his money and tell all of us to go F ourselves based upon the way this country has treated him. This guy got shot.
I've been saying that for a very long time. She pointed it out there on the show. Look, if President Trump wanted to, there's no reason why he wouldn't just go off and play golf for the rest of his life. The guy's made enough money. He doesn't need to be president. He can tell America to, deal with your own problems. But he wants to help America. He wants to make America great again. He didn't have to do it. He's got plenty of money. There's no incentive for him to be there other than wanting to make the country a better place. Tell me I'm wrong. You let me know if I'm wrong. You can tell me. Let's see. C-Stew85. They are checking to see who is on the videos as far as adults to go after and make sure their team is not on them. That could be true. I mean, it's a possibility. I mean, there's always that possibility of, if you're going through this stuff and you've got somebody within the administration that you're like, well, we can't show them. That's always a possibility. I just personally don't think that there's anything there. I think they're touting this, and I don't think that you're not going to see anything. I'll say I could be wrong, but I don't think you're going to see anything from the Epstein stuff. But anyway, back to Jeanine here. I just think that I hope she stays true to who she is, and she just takes this no nonsense attitude into the AG spot. I hope hopefully she'll get it permanently, as long as she does well. I don't want it to be another situation as far as like her being like Pam Bondi, where all she cares about is being on Fox News. Hopefully that's not the case with Jeanine. Hopefully she can go in there and she can kick some butt and take some names. But that's, anyway. So we'll go ahead and move on to Joe Biden on The View, because this might take a minute. Now, Joe Biden went on to The View, was spouting all kinds of nonsense. And we're going to cover a few clips that I that I selected. Now, I encourage people to go watch the whole thing. I know it's hard to watch The View. It is. It's tough. But I will say, watching this myself, now I did pick a few of the clips just for context and kind of point out a few of the lies that were spouted on there, but we'll take a look at this. They asked him about his mental decline and the people. Now, he starts rambling in this clip, okay, and talking about he's just fine, but his wife, Jill, and just as a side note, shame on her for putting him through this, knowing his mental decline, keeping him in that power. I think that she wanted the power more than he did. That's just my personal opinion, but that's neither here nor there. She has to jump in here and save him because he starts rambling incoherently. Nobody knows what he's saying, so she has to jump in here and save him. This clip, look, this stuff is crazy. You can't make this stuff up. Check it out.
Mr. President, since you left office, there have been a number of books that have come out, deeply sourced from Democratic sources, that claim in your final year there was a dramatic decline in your cognitive abilities. In the final year of your presidency, what is your response?
Oh, my bad.
To these allegations, or are these sources wrong?
They are wrong. There's nothing to sustain that, number one. Number two, think of what we're left with. We're left with a circumstance where we had an insurrection when I started, not since the Civil War. We had a circumstance where we were in a position that the pandemic, because of the incompetence of the last outfit, end up over 1 million people dying. And we're also in a situation where we found ourselves unable to deal with a lot of just basic issues, and which I won't go into in the interest of time.
Here's where he's going to start straying off. Now, not only did he COVID, you can say what you want, but it was a novel thing. Nobody knew how to deal with it exactly. There was mistakes made. I can admit that. Donald Trump made some mistakes. One main one was trusting Mr. Fauci, but that's a different topic. But we'll just keep going with this. Just listen to him. This is where he's going to go off, and he's going to have Jill come in and save him.
And so we went to work, and we got it done. And one of the things and
Alyssa, one of the things I think is that the people who wrote those books were not in the White House with us. And
just want to point out real quick, listen to what she says, because this is important. Just listen, and I'll debunk this in just a minute.
they didn't see how hard Joe worked every single day. I mean, he'd get up, he'd put in a full day, and then at night, I'd be in bed, reading my book, and he was still on the phone, reading his briefings, working with staff. I mean, it was nonstop. It's the White House, being president is not like a job. It's a lifestyle. It's a life that you live. You live it 24 hours a day. That phone can ring at 11 o'clock at night or 2 in the...
Is it just, does the guy look, he just looks tired. I don't know if they gave him anything to go on to the show, but maybe he's just tired of her voice. I don't know. But look at the guy. I say shame on Jill for putting him through this. She's still putting him through all this crap. There's no reason for this guy to be on television doing this. Shame on her. She shouldn't be putting him through this. Just my opinion.
The morning. It's constant. You never leave it. And Joe worked really hard. I think he was a great president. And if you look at things today, give me Joe Biden anytime.
So give me Joe Biden anytime. For one, the guy wasn't at work all the time. You look, I specifically remember, and you can let me know what you remember, but there was days that they called the lid at like 2 o'clock, just after the afternoon hour. There was 1 o'clock. There was a couple times I remember at noon, called them calling a lid on the administration so that the guy could go to bed. I seriously doubt that this guy was up all hours of the night working into the night. It did not happen. If you think I'm wrong, you can let me know. But there's no way that this guy was staying up all hours of the night after they called the lid at noon or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It didn't happen. Oh, I stayed up with him. There was late nights and early mornings and blah, blah. No, there wasn't. Not for 1 second do I believe anything that she just said. I think she's a terrible person for putting her husband through this, knowing about his mental decline. Everybody saw it. If you are of the opinion that this guy is sharp as a tack, you just haven't, you're either just misinformed or you haven't been paying attention. Anyway, calling a lid on it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, that's not him staying up all hours of the night. But anyway, take a look at this one. This was him rambling. And tell me if you can make any sense of this video, because I didn't. Anyway.
The projects, the benefits. How do you lead the world without having the best infrastructure in the world? How do you lead the world without having the best healthcare in the world? How do you lead the world without having the best education system in the world? How do you lead the world when you don't have that done?
Not have what done? This guy, look, and the previous clip when Jill said, I'd rather have Jill Biden than this guy any day. How about the fact that the border, an 80-20 issue, one of the big reasons or one of the big issues that Trump campaigned on during this last election, the border is secure. And all it took was a good president. So Jill would rather have the open borders and the invasion of illegal aliens coming into the country versus what we have now. That's what I took out of that. But anyway, could anybody make sense of what that little rambling was right there? I couldn't. But anyway, Biden says that he would have won. He would have won that election if he had stayed in. I beg to differ. But take a look at this clip. This is wild.
Well, Mr. President, you had previously said that you thought that you would have won. Since then, Donald Trump won all the battleground states and made inroads.
Every single swing state. I called that. Just not to toot my own horn there, but I called every single swing state. I said, I think he's going to get every single swing state. Just so happened to be right. But anyway, we'll keep going.
With almost every major demographic, from working class voters to Hispanic men to black men. Knowing what you know now, do you think you would have beat him?
Yeah, he still got 7 million fewer votes.
Yes.
There you go. Okay. A lot of people didn't.
He likes to tout the fact that he got 7 million more votes than President Trump. Now, that's debatable. There's a lot of rumors, flying around what happened actually during the 2020 election. But I don't understand how he got so many more votes than what Obama did. That's just what I think, but I don't know. I mean,
didn't show up. Number one. Number two, they're very close in those toss-up states. It was it wasn't a slam dunk.
It was not close.
So, look, every time I've been on the show, which I've been fortunate to be on more than once.
Let me ask a simple question. Just everybody out there, you let me know. If he was so set on the fact that he was going to win against President Trump a second time, why did he drop out? If he was sure that he was going to win, why did he drop out of the race and let Kamala take over? You let me know. I'm curious.
Thanks for having me. Is that we talk, you guys don't focus on as much, and I think it's good, on polling numbers, but let me put it this way. He's had the worst 100 days any president's ever had.
No, he hasn't. He's not had the worst 100 days. He's got American manufacturing coming back to the United States. We just talked about that. He's got the most secure border in American recorded history. 99.99% of border security. Never happened before.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah.
And they say that's a fact. They agree with him. Why? Because he's part of the left. He runs with their narrative. Anyway, I don't think he would have won. And let me show you this. This is from the New York Post. Biden's internal polling had Trump winning 400 electoral votes. 400 electoral votes. You still think that you would have won that election, Mr. Biden? That's why he dropped out. Because after that debate that he had with President Trump, Trump annihilated him in that debate. Now, the debate against Kamala didn't go so well for President Trump, but that's okay because he was still able to get in, and people were, they were just tired of the left and their policies. I think Kamala actually, she just did herself in as far as the election. Her campaign was terrible. She said all the wrong things to all the right people, and she just kind of self-imploded. But anyway, just a quick overread of this New York Post article. Now, this is from the New York Post. It's not like a right-wing pundit or anything. President-elect Trump was on track with 400 electoral votes in a head-to-head race against President Biden, according to the White House's own internal polls. Now, you can say what you want about polls. I've got my own opinions. I don't trust them. But when we find out when the Biden campaign became the Harris campaign, that the Biden campaign's own internal polling at the time, when they were telling us he was the strongest candidate, showed that Donald Trump was going to win 400 electoral votes. Can you imagine? This is why he dropped out, because they could not handle that kind of defeat. Now, you've got people that are going to vote left just because the person has a D next to their name. That's just a lot of people do that for some reason. They don't do their research. They just vote on whoever's running as a Democrat. It's sad, but that's the way it tends to happen. Let's see. I'm done being generous, Favreau said. This is the guy who is saying this, echoing a long line of Obama alum who have always disdained Biden and his inner circle. Look, just a quick sum up of the article. He said it was a mistake for Biden to try and run for a second term. You can see how he would come to that conclusion because Kamala only got 3 months to campaign. Like I said, she shot herself in the foot anyway. I don't think if she had more time, it would have made any difference. That's just my opinion. I think she would have ended up shooting herself in the foot regardless. There was telling the kids, saying Jesus is king at her rally, and she's telling them that they're at the wrong rally. When she was on The View and they said, would you do anything different? And she said, nothing comes to mind. There was just a couple of instances where I think she shot herself in the foot. I don't think she would have won regardless. She's not a likable candidate, which is shown when she was running for president before. And Tulsi Gabbard completely annihilated her on the debate stage, and then she just dropped out before the first primary vote even took place. She's not a likable person, and I don't know why he picked her for the vice presidency anyway, other than the fact that she was just a DEI hire. Anyway, we'll go on to the next clip, and this is him talking about the border. Now, I don't know why you would bring this up. It's an 80-20 issue. One of the main reasons why they lost the election was because of the border. Now, this clip is from YouTube. An ad might pop up. I'll try and get to it before it does, but just a heads up, there might be an ad with this one, but we'll get to this.
You remember, we put together a commission leading with one of the most conservative members of the United States Senate from Oklahoma running it. We came up with a significant means by which we could deal with the border. What did Trump do? He got on the telephone and he called Republicans, do not support it. It's legal, it'll work, it'll make Biden look good, don't do it. And they backed off. All
right, so this is something that the left touted for a very long time, especially during the campaigning for leading up to the presidential election. The border bill, as they call it, was not a border bill. Yes, it did allocate some money towards the border. Yes, I will give credit where credit is due. But the bulk of the money coming out of that border bill was $61 billion to Ukraine, after we had already dedicated billions of dollars to Ukraine. I've said it in previous videos during the campaign. There's no reason to call this a border bill when the bulk of the money is going to Ukraine. $61 billion to be precise. $61 billion out of $118 billion. That's not a border bill. That's a foreign aid bill. Take a look at this. This is just, like I said, this is what the bill had, okay? The bipartisan border security bill known as the Border Act of 24. And that's another thing. They introduced this bill in 2024. almost 4 years into, 3 years after Biden had been in office, 3 years after the border had been swamped with illegal aliens coming into this country. The invasion had already taken place when he tried to put this border bill in place. The damage had already been done, but since it was election season, they had to do something. That's the only reason they did it. But anyway, I digress, and I'll just ramble on about that if I don't stop. The larger $118 billion package allocated approximately $61 billion for Ukraine. That's not a border bill. That's a foreign aid bill. After we had already sent billions of other dollars to Ukraine, Putin's bad guy. I don't like him. I don't like Zelensky either. But at this point, I'm still upset about the fact that we have sent billions and billions and billions of dollars to Ukraine. For what? Look, at first, when Ukraine first got invaded by Russia, I was like, okay, yeah, it shouldn't be happening. We should help them out a little bit. But we've got our own problems here in America, and we're sending $61 billion in this bill alone to Ukraine. No, it's not a border bill. That's why it was shut down. No, I don't know if President Trump actually made that phone call. I don't know. But if he did, I don't see a problem with it because it's not a border bill. You can let me know what you think about it, but 61 billion out of 118, that's a big chunk. This wasn't a border bill. It was a bill to help give more billions of dollars to Ukraine. That's all it was. And that's why it got shut down. Not because President Trump didn't want it to be a win for Biden. That's just the simple truth about it. You can argue with me if you want, but that's what I think. Anyway, Jill Biden is a terrible person. Take a look at this clip and what she says. Hopefully this is not a repeat of something else I've already got, but we'll take a look at this clip as well.
Shirley, you are your husband's fiercest advocate and a close advisor, and it's been reported that you created a sort of cocoon around him.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember this one now. Look, she did create a cocoon. The guy, look, as I said previously, the guy had a lid most days at about 2 o'clock. Sometimes at noon, but most of the time it was like 2 o'clock, a little after. The guy didn't stay up. She created a cocoon around him. I think that she was the one that wanted the power, not him, but that's a different story that I'll ramble on about. But
kind of limited his interactions with the media and others. Do you think you could?
I don't know if it was her that limited his interaction with the media, but look, think about this for just a second. Every time that the guy was taking questions from the press, he said, look, I got to go. I can't take questions because they'll get mad at me. This whole interview was very frustrating. If you want, I encourage people to go actually watch it, form your own opinions about it. I'm letting you know what I think just on a few select clips, and it's infuriating and frustrating because I saw what happened and none of this is true. But anyway.
Could have been too close to the situation to objectively gauge whether he could handle a full 4 more years?
I was with Joe day and night. I saw him more than any other person. I woke up with him. I went to bed at night with him. So I saw him all throughout the day. And I did not create a cocoon around him.
Yes, she did.
I mean, you saw him in the Oval Office. You saw him making speeches. He wasn't.
You saw him making speeches. You saw him here and there and blah, blah, blah. But we never saw him after 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, I'll say I don't know if it was her that actually created the cocoon. I don't know if it was his staff. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I wasn't within his administration. I don't know the inner workings of what happened within the White House when he was the president. I don't know. You can take her word for it if you want to, but I don't believe her. Not for one single second. I say shame on her for putting him in that situation, knowing his mental decline and what he was going through. Shame on her. That's what I think.
He wasn't hiding somewhere. I didn't have him, sequestered in some place. I mean, that's
wish she had.
Was that hurtful to you when they were describing you as Lady Macbeth and all of those?
Yes, it was very hurtful. It was very hurtful, especially from some of our so-called friends.
Yeah.
Shirley,
Anyway. I think that there was a lot of different shady stuff going on while he was the president, and I think him coming out here, I don't know if this is him just trying to save face protect his so-called legacy, if you want to call it that. You can let me know what you think. Why I don't know why he actually just didn't. There's no reason for him to come on to this show. It serves no purpose. He's not in office anymore, other than him trying to just protect his legacy and throw some shade on Trump. That's it. There's no point to it. But anyway, that's all I've got for this morning. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. I appreciate you being here through my ramblings and listening to my opinion on things. I do appreciate it. If you like what you saw, hit that follow button. I appreciate all the followers. I appreciate you tuning in. You can also follow me on X at The Political Ray. Also on Truth Social. If you get on Truth, I'm on there as well, just at Political Ray. But again, I appreciate everybody hanging out with me. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. Spend some time with your family. Go out to some outings. If it's not raining like it's going to be here. But anyway, hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. Again, God bless. Take care of each other.